The following podcast is provided by Era Living, innovator in residential retirement options since 1987. And welcome everyone to the Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we are here on behalf of Era Living. And Era, as you know, I have been an incredible supporter, fan, an amazing, admirer of this organization. And it's been such an honor for Answers for Elders to be partnered with Era Living to talk about what all is possible for the amazing richness of lives for our seniors. And I am here today with interviewing an amazing woman by the name of Stefanie Starkovich, and she's again with the University of Washington Retirement Association. Stefanie, you're the executive director, and welcome to Answers for Elders.
Thanks, Suzanne. It's lovely to be here.
No, you've been with the University of Washington for now since 20 years. So tell me a little bit about your background, Stefanie, and how you became to be the executive director.
Sure. So I took a little bit of an indirect route. This was not what I dreamt of being when I was a little girl, but I came back to the University of Washington. I'm a Seattle native, and I left for college and graduate school. And then I came back to the university in 1998 to pursue my PhD in history. Wow. And worked through my qualifying exams. And then at some point in the dissertation process, I sort of came to the realization that I really loved higher ed and I really wanted to stay in a university or a college setting. But I was increasingly convinced that while I could probably be an adequate faculty member, I didn't think I could be great at it. And I wasn't particularly willing to, move to Lincoln, Nebraska to become a faculty member, which is kind of what would have been required, at least at that point in time. But I was so lucky because I was surrounded by staff within the department I was in who had dedicated their whole careers to the university. They all had graduate degrees, but were working as professional staff in the university. So I sort of took a left turn and I worked in an academic department in student services for about 12 years coming out of graduate school, and then had the opportunity to serve in a number of roles across the university. And just before the pandemic began, the position came open at the Retirement Association. And I thought to myself, what a treat to be able to serve a constituency of dedicated public servants. And quite honestly, a constituency I have every intention of joining someday. So I had really no sense years ago that this is where the path would lead me, but I couldn't be more delighted.
Right. And so the University of Washington Retirement Association, what specifically does the organization do?
So we really serve the diverse community of retired faculty and staff of the university. So right now that's about 10,000 living individuals, and it really runs the spectrum from faculty who taught at the university to custodial and facility staff to the professional staff who work in academic and student services, clinicians and nurses and other clinical staff in UW Medicine's various hospitals and facilities. So it's this really rich and diverse body of folks. And we like to say we're a little bit like an alumni association, but the distinction for us is instead of spending 4 years affiliated with the institution, our members tend to have spent 30 or 40 years working for the institution. So they have a deep and abiding commitment to the university that really doesn't need to end simply because they're no longer drawing a paycheck.
Right. And, I think the beauty, you guys now have you had a long-term partnership with Era Living. How does that work?
Yeah, so it actually goes back to the very reason that the organization was founded. So back in 1975, the Retirement Association was established by a group of faculty and staff, and part of their stated purpose was, to serve and advocate on behalf of retirees. But at that point in time, part of their purpose was actually to explore housing options for retired faculty and staff of the university.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They saw a real need. And so thus began a rather long odyssey. I think that idea sounded much easier than it proved to be in practice. And that the board and its committees worked for a number of years to sort of figure out, what does that actually mean to pursue that kind of retirement housing? And when Era Living opened Ida Culver House in partnership with the Seattle Education Association, that's kind of when Era Living as an organization came to the attention of the Retirement Association. And they thought, what an interesting partnership, what an interesting commitment.
Yeah.
And that is actually the beginning of that partnership. And it really saw both entities all the way through the founding of University House 26 years ago now.
That's so incredible. And of course, in the industry, the people in the know, they always say, that's the place where a lot of, professors and, so there's this element of culture, I would imagine, that Era Living matches or meets up to make that person that is transitioning into senior housing, that they connect with people that are like-minded. Have you found that true?
Yeah, it's that commitment to lifelong learning and that commitment to really wanting to ground yourself in an academic setting, in an intellectually rich setting. So we really find that, faculty and staff of the university, if you've spent 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years immersed in an academic institution and learning in and also in public service, then that's not something you want to let go of.
No.
Even as you age and you maybe pull back from your own role in that institution, they really find it enriching and satisfying to have that sort of continue to surround them in their retirement home.
Yeah. And obviously, that partnership that you have, how does that benefit the members?
So our members experience a really rich sort of set of perks and privileges. So the partnership kind of works both ways. So for our members, they enjoy priority access to the wait list for University House, Wallingford, and Issaquah, which can be really quite valuable because these communities are in high demand. And as you can imagine, when you're ready to make that decision, it can be really reassuring to feel like you've got kind of an inside track on getting space. There's some financial incentives as well for our members, but really what's important to them is that priority access, and also knowing that at University House, those other connections to the School of Nursing and the School of Pharmacy and the School of Social Work, that all of the services provided at University House are really steeped in the latest research and the latest practices in terms of clinicians.
Yeah, and I would imagine coming from that culture of the University of Washington, staying consistent with that level of care is vital. It's very important. So obviously, University House is kind of and denotes the connection to the University of Washington. How did that come to? I mean, what do you know about that, and how can you share about that for me as far as the benefits? How it works together? Yeah, the benefiting.
Yeah. So the idea is that at University House, residents can expect a real commitment to lifelong learning. They can expect the sort of enriching and empowering kinds of information that come out of a public institution will follow them into their retirement community. So that can mean speakers from the university. It can mean close associations with the School of Pharmacy and its practitioners in the communities. It can mean that the Retirement Association and its events and programs, those are all available to residents of University House, whether they're members of our association or not. They have access to the full range of lifelong learning and social events that the association puts on. So it's really intended to kind of bring the university with you into your retirement community, which is, to the best of my knowledge, a pretty unique and maybe one of a kind arrangement.
So obviously, one of the things that I want to talk or ask about, because if you're an existing resident at University House, can you join your UWRA, or how does that work?
So membership in the association is based on your status as a retiree from the university. So there are some, somewhat complex, but it boils down to anyone who formally retired from the University of Washington, regardless of your enroll your employment classification, as long as you were benefits eligible and you formally retired, you are eligible to become a member of the association. We also have the ability for people to join who had courtesy appointments, a variety of affiliate appointments. So there's lots of pathways. We also have members from other institutions of higher education. So let's say you served at Washington University for many years, and then you retired to Seattle because your kids are here or because it's beautiful. Those folks are also welcome in the association to become members. So it's not open to the public in the way that some alumni associations might be.
Obviously,
we really try to make it as open and welcoming as we possibly can, while staying true to the mission of who we are and who we serve.
Yeah. And I can only imagine with a program like this, it makes, I would imagine after being in it, part of the culture of the University of Washington, it makes that transition easier. Once you retire, you have a plan. And, we talk a lot about having a plan when you retire. If you don't have a plan, it can backfire. Obviously, retirement can lead you into not a good quality of life. To have that kind of support, I would imagine you guys provide a lot of that to the members.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time thinking about the kinds of programs that we can offer. The first question we ask ourselves is, why us?
Yeah.
Why is the Retirement Association particularly well suited or positioned to offer this program or service? And so a lot of the things we do are really focused on the kinds of programs that you age into needing, the kinds of information you didn't need when you were 30, but you need it now as you're beginning to enter a new phase of life. And those programs are really focused on how do we ensure that you have a secure and fulfilling retirement? And so those programs that we offer are a really great example of the benefits that are available to all residents of University House. Those programs are always recorded and available on our website, and we really think of them as part of our public mission, available to the public and certainly to all residents of University House and honestly all other Era Living communities as well.
Well, Stefanie, it's been such an honor to visit with you today. And as always, I want to say it's been an absolute honor and privilege to be working with Era Living. And I hope that we have done at Answers for Elders just a remote bit of justice to the message that you all provide to the community and all of the things that you do for our seniors and our residents. So thanks again for being on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
Era Living is locally owned and operates 8 premier retirement communities in Seattle, Renton, Mercer Island, Bellevue, and Issaquah. From vibrant, independent living to compassionate assisted living to secure memory care, Era Living respects and honors older adults by enhancing the quality of their lives. Learn more at eraliving.com.